Hey, this is Mike Clendenen here, and a copywriter friend and I were talking the other day, and we were sitting there, and we were like, yeah, the copywriters of yesterday had it so easy. All they had to do was put an ad in a newspaper, and they would get, millions of dollars, right? And so we sat there, we were thinking, we were like, if Gary Halbert were alive today, and Gary Halbert had to find a girlfriend using ClickFunnels, what would the funnel look like? And so I sat there and I've been sitting on this idea for about a week. And so I was like, you know what? I have today off. I don't really have much going on. I'm gonna build this funnel because I want to see what it looks like. And so last night I did a little research, and so I got Gary Halbert's full copy. Where to go? Right here. I got his full copy in rows, actually, that's kind of annoying, actually. But um, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to record myself building Gary Halbert's funnel, and I'll probably do it in sections to make sure that it's not like super boring. But I'll show you each one of the steps because I was going through the internet yesterday and I found a bunch of old pictures of Gary Halbert in the 70s on TV shows and on copywriting seminars. And so I think this funnel is actually going to turn out really, really well. And so I'm actually going to show you my process of building a funnel too, which is going to be even crazier. But um, let's get into it. So I have ClickFunnels up right now. I always start with a blank page because templates suck. Templates just get in the way. Um, and so the first thing that I like to do is I like to do something called the gray sheet. So I actually take the background and I turn the background into gray. So that way I can see all of the different elements. And then what I like to do is I like to import all of my pictures and my videos. And so I'm going to do that right now. But I'm going to pause the tape really quick to make sure that I have them all in a secure folder. Alright guys, so here are all of my Gary Halbert pictures. Um, I think I found this picture. This picture's terrifying. I saw that and I was like, oh dude, I would not want to date this lady, especially that one. She just looks mean. Like, man. But yeah, this lady and this lady, oh, not a fan. But like, here's Gary Halbert on a TV set in Miami. Here's Vince's gym. Here's Vince's gym again. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Vince's gym again. Um, here's here's um, oh man, where's the homeless picture that I found? There it is. Um, in the personal ad, he talks about how he doesn't want to rescue anyone, so I went and found a picture of a homeless person. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to upload all of these into my ClickFunnels account. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to um, image, right? I just go here. There's all of it's my mess. And we are just going to upload all of these pictures of Gary Halbert into this ClickFunnel. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I actually take I call it the gray format. So when you're typesetting back in the day, what they would do is they'd have a thing that was the exact size of the newspaper that it was going to be printed on. And so I like to do that. I like to just make it look gray so you could see the individual pieces of where everything went. So when they would take a picture, they'd put the picture down, they had all the text, they'd take scissors and they'd cut it out, and they'd arrange the layout. And so what I like to do is I like to do exactly that. And so I also have all of Gary Halbert's copy right here in a notepad file, which is I pulled it from a website that steals copy off of images. And so I'm probably gonna have to spend a lot of time like inserting all of the copy into it and fixing the copy. But I'm gonna show you the pattern that I use. Okay, so what I just got done doing, excuse me, what I just got done doing, or so I thought. Oh yeah, no, I did. So what I just got done doing was I went through and I separated all of the copy, all of the lines, etc., etc., etc. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to find how many different sections that I need. And so that way, when I go into the ClickFunnel, I could just hit like, okay, I need 7 sections. Then I can put in the headlines. Then I can put in the subheaders. And then I can fill in the body copy. So that way everything is organized. And when I go to add in all of the sections, I know, because I'm about to go through here and I'm about to put in, I'm gonna make notes of where I want to put in all the pictures. So that way I know I need a section, and then I need, a column, 2 columns, column, column, a section, column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, whatever it may be, right? So I'm gonna go do that right now. Most of this work, if you haven't noticed, is in Notepad. I always use Notepad because of how featureless and formatless it is, because um, I like to work and design within the format that I am publishing in. So if I'm not in ClickFunnels, I'm not in Adobe XD, I'm not in Photoshop, I'm not in nothing. Like, I only plan for the format that it's going to be in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make 9 sections. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, sweet. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to put all of the headlines in. All right, so what I've done is I have taken the pictures and I put all of the pictures in, and I've taken the copy and I put all the copy into the funnel. So I know that Gary would not want me to touch a comma of his copy, and I have not. I have not added a period. I have not taken out anything. I have bolded some stuff and I've edited the spacing for formatting, and there's a couple things like here where I bolded like nothing. That's what, not a zip, not doodly squat, no Miller time, no drugs, no sex, no rock and roll, not even a little wine, right? And I did that just because I actually really like those lines, and I think they draw a lot of attention. I think those are the more colorful lines in the copy. So now that I have all of this done, what I'm going to go through now and as I'm going to add the funnel centric parts of the funnel, which is what makes it different from a newspaper ad. All right, now it's starting to shape up a little bit. What I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to actually figure out how big the width looks optimally on desktop, and I'm going to go in and make each of the sections backgrounds white and then make a different color for each section so that each section stands out and you actually feel like you're progressing through the ad. So that would be the next step, because this just looks fucking boring. I love this picture though, I really do. Okay, so this may look pretty similar, but what I did was is I took each of the sections backgrounds and I made them transparent completely, and then I took each of these columns, so these little, because this is a section, and then this is like a row, and then like each one of these little things is a column, or it's an element. What I did was is I basically made this full width. Now the problem that I'm running into right now, and that most people run into when they're making this funnel, is they're going to suffer eye fatigue. All right, they're actually going to physically get tired of reading so many. Ooh, that's a typo. Of so many, you're going to get tired of going across the screen. And so women actually they read with their eyes, but men read with our heads. And so like literally you're like breaking dudes' necks if you like. By the time I am finished, it is approximately 9:45 a.m. and what I do next is go home, shower, change into fresh clothes, and eat a light breakfast. You actually, if you just, you'll see my eye or my head and my eyes moving. And so what we need to do is we need to make this like male friendly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what percentage of the width column that I need to make it so that a dude's head doesn't have to move. And then what I'll do is I'll make it that width of a column. Because also, if you notice, like all this white space makes the text seem really small. And when the text seems really small, people don't want to read it. So our goal is to make the text inviting, especially when you have a whole section like this where it's just copy. And so what I'm going to go through and do next is I'm going to go through and make it readable and friendly. Alright, so I found the magic number and it was actually 85%. So the head moves very, very slightly. But if I made it any skinnier, it would just kind of look kind of crappy. So, actually, let's see if we can make this. Ooh, nope. That's as good as it's going to get. By the way, if you want to adjust these pictures, you can. Because what I try and do is people are like anal retentive now. People will look for any reason to like start being annoyed. And so in California, this actually isn't so much of a problem. They don't really give a shit about you or what you've done at all. But I've noticed in the 14 or 15 other states that I've been to, if like this picture right here and then this text were uneven, which I think they are still kind of uneven, but you can barely notice it. Um, let's see if I can make a custom. Oh, I can. Boom. Um, if they were uneven, people would stop and be like, oh, that picture, the text isn't even. I'm bothered. So you have to make everything look even. And so that's what you're trying to do is you're trying to line up your pictures and your text so that way they have the same amount of space. And so people aren't so much annoyed at the fact that like there's these two to the side and then there's this one to the left and there's this one over here. People aren't so much annoyed by that. What they are annoyed by is when the picture and the text are uneven. Now some people will spend like days and they won't release their funnel if their pictures and their text are uneven. It's not that big of a problem, right? Like I have this here. No one's going to notice. But you know what they would notice? They would notice if all of a sudden the text was huge. I'll just show you. So if I wanted to compensate for that and I wanted to do this, they would notice that. So don't ever do that. It's better to have, I think this is 16. Yeah, 16. It's better to have this than to have what I just showed you. Number 1, death of disease. Alright, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to make this really Gary. So when I think of Gary Halbert, I think of like late Gary Halbert, where Gary Halbert's in his boat on his dining room table, like with a big old legal pad and like this blue pen, like just going at it with like papers scattered everywhere with like Bond running around in the back. In high school, when I think of like the prime Gary Halbert, like that Gary Halbert, running around in this salmon Cadillac. So I'm going to turn this funnel into that, and then I'm going to turn that funnel into like a modern that. All right, now before I sit on this for a full day, let's look at it. So I know for a fact that Gary Halbert does not like it when people have distractions. So I kept the background static. He also hates it when things are in reverse, thanks to David Ogilvy's policy of no reverse text. So I kept all the text on a white background with black text. I kept everything spaced out like he recommends. I did use grabbers. Like I feel like if Barney's Beanery is like another grabber in case you just got to this section was like, okay. drug dramas, the Lesper dilemmas, marriage. I don't want a sexual swinger, which I think is kind of funny. I don't want a sexual prude. And that's Gary Halbert sitting on a fucking Rolls Royce, man. And I absolutely love that ending picture. I just think that paints a great picture of what your future would look like with Gary Halbert as your boyfriend. And his infamous "thanks for your support" text, um, which I thought was great. But this is it, guys. Um, if I were given more flexibility by the client, what I probably would have done is I probably would have put Gary Halbert in some duotone. So like this is a duotone right here where I made everything like one color and another color, and that's a blue and a pink. And I was thinking about his Cadillac, his salmon Cadillac right there. I'm pretty sure that's John Carlton right there, and I don't know who that is, but he does not look happy. That's my former client. That is not my former client. That's my former client. That's Gary Howard's actual girlfriend. That's Barney's Beanery. That's a picture I found on Google. That's another picture I found on Google. That's another picture I found on Google. That is a great picture that I found on Google, because there's like 4 girls in here and the rest are all just guys, which is it's a terrible picture. And then and then I looked up Mormon in a barn. And that's what we got there. And Gary Halbert on a Rolls Royce. Um, that's a picture. I forget. I think that's a picture of Gary's office in LA. And that's a picture of Gary's office in LA. So, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to splice this video together and get it out to you.